All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back. Continuing along our week, continuing along our day, our Wednesday afternoon, October 7th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting. Already loud and clear from Pat, Jerry, Wayne, Greg, Chuck, all you guys coming in quick. Bill, Michael, Dale, great to see you all. Perfect. And for anybody tuning in on social media, as always, welcome on back. So, with that said, well, I'm going to try and make this short, kind of like the other week I'd mentioned during this meeting. I was like on the mic all day. I need a break. We'll try and go through this rather quick but efficiently, right? So we've had a hell of a day. No need to not talk here, rather. We've had the market push up beautifully heading into this afternoon. That doesn't mean it's going to continue moving up, right? So really quick, actually, for anybody tuning in on social media and for anybody that was not here inside our trading room yesterday, holy smokes. So I was doing this meeting live this time every day this week, and we saw the Dow moving up. So we were saying, hey, it might be a great opportunity to, move with the markets, trade the airlines, the cruise lines. And in the middle of this meeting, like just out of nowhere, the Dow dropped 500 points in 10 minutes. So, the news with that, as we know at this point now, had to do in relation to the stimulus bill with the Senate and Trump and Pelosi. So, hey, what do you know? Another tweet and the markets are right back up. So, hey, take it for what it's worth, right? I mean, heading into this afternoon, we're going to be very mindful of where the markets may lead us, and you never know what might happen during this very meeting. So at least for right now, we'll keep some of the sideless stocks still in play heading into this afternoon, like Carnival Cruise Lines, NEO, even Sorrento, SRNE, which we will get to in a moment. Sorrento is a nice stock that we traded just before. But like I said, we did pretty well across the board otherwise, though, heading into this morning. Let's take a look at a few stocks that we ended up calling out. I mean, to begin, it's hard for me to really not begin with OPTT. So Ocean Power, we ended up seeing them continue to squeeze up from yesterday. We ended up, running into the close pretty well, dived off a little bit, but in the after hours, pushed up higher and higher and higher, pre-market by 4 or 5 in the morning, a real early pop. And like we covered inside our Traders Talk workshop yesterday, for all of us inside our trading room at least, well, typically when it dumps off this early on, normally we don't tend to see as big of a squeeze up heading into the market open. So, it ended up making that pop and drop. It pulled back. Thankfully, though, it did find support. So it ended up basing off of from around like 270, 275-ish. From there, squeezed back up and over 3. Made a nice move up. Broke over its opening bell print, $3.15. And, squeezed back up for a little bit up towards the high 372. So, hey, to see a stock go day over day, like from yesterday, and then the pre-market this morning, at some point this thing is going to come screaming back down, and like we had alluded to, that WWR would make, right? WWR, another, I guess, like pre-market push this morning, but shortly after it dumped off, and at this point it looks like it's only going to continue to tank. I would say the same thing to happen with a stock like OPTT, at least heading into this afternoon. If it's not this afternoon, I would say it's by the after hours, by pre-market tomorrow morning. We're not looking to necessarily swing trade this, at least. All right, so nice trade, at least from the mid-morning, at least basing off from that 270 level. Another stock, all these like energy solar stocks ended up moving up once again today, right? So Sun W pre-market pop at 8 o'clock, shortly after the market opened, dumped off, but kind of similar to OPTT, made a second little move up off support there from 380 up towards like 430. Nice 50-cent squeeze up. And then I think with that, what was the other one that we ended up trading? I think it was Pola, if I'm not mistaken. This one was more of a bust after 9:30. We called out the pop immediately. It looked good. Volume died off rather fast, though. So, ended up making that spike to make the higher high up towards 479. But right away after, the volume dissipated. You got to be careful for a pop and drop like this. So, a lot of these stocks, again, like we were saying, we're not necessarily looking to swing trade. We're looking to take the momentum. We're looking to take the pre-market push. If not the pre-market, then after the market opens up. But if it's not breaking higher, there's only one other way it's going to go. All right, the PEC trade, I guess, did all right too. Another, low float energy stock ended up squeezing up nicely in pre-market, more so after the open as well. Kind of the same deal too. All right, guys, let's see. What else can we kind of go over quick before we just go customary from top to bottom? I think that just about does it. I mean, honestly, the Sorrento trade was pretty interesting heading into the afternoon. Like I said, we'll cover that pretty much in a moment. Otherwise, the market's squeezing up, so at least we'll try and see if that continues. Pat's asking here in the chat board, CVV, afternoon runner. Well, number one on the list right now. So I've only seen this go up and up as far as percent. So, of course, this stock pushing up heading into the afternoon. Notice the volume, though, on this trade. It looks like, we could say, oh, we called it out from the market open. We didn't. We didn't call this out from 9:30, guys. This wasn't one that we really had our eye on really upon 9:30 market open. If anything, maybe we first called it out off this big pop volume spike, just saying a new high of the day. From there, though, eventually, once it broke over here, the highs off 525. From there, nice break. So, yeah, moving up $1 from that point, CVV. CVD Equipment Corp is full name. Yeah, beautiful trend. Of course, we're going to start by putting this on our list. Heading into the afternoon, though, just to see this move up as much as it has, you got to figure it's going to make a pullback at some point. It's on a steady trend off the lows, at least. So should we happen to see this trend accelerate, or the stock accelerate from the trend line it's making, at that stage, I would say it's more likely to pull back further. So holding this pretty steady here in the meantime. All right, Jerry saying in the chat board here, whom I want to give proper credit to. Jerry said I called it out at 1 p.m. Eastern time today. So it was off that pop, right? So there we go. Nice call from Jerry there. Got to figure with a new high of the day with a big volume spike, like 99% chance you're going to see a stock like this get called out. I say that, though, just for new members joining, like on social media, joining the streams here. We could say, oh, we called it out off the first pop. We didn't. It's BS. We called it out off the first big breakout here off 1 o'clock that Jerry made here. So, since it ended up making a fantastic run. Really holding this trend nicely at this point. All right. So at least for right now, great call, Pat. We would get to this, of course, number one on the list so far, and number one on our afternoon list. All right, so what else do we have here for the meantime? Rave, R-E-V-E. I've never traded this stock in the past, and that's usually not a good thing after doing this for 6 years straight. Yeah, I mean, to see this stock make that pump early in the morning, it was dumping off into the open, only crashed lower. Yeah, I mean, I guess right now, gaining a little steam off of one, if you're in from a buck here, this could be a nice little catch, but I'm not as interested in this trade heading into the afternoon. We've seen stocks like this dump off. Maybe it makes like an extra 10-cent jump up, but I'm not too interested. Not doing it for me. All right, I could tell right away we got a bunch of cheapies otherwise here, guys. 95-cent stock, OEG. It was up, a lot more than it is here, I think. Yeah, pump and dump already. AREC up 58+%, $2.58 stock. Same thing. Oof. The heck happened here? Big drop. It looks like it snapped right through support from the chart, roughly off of like 340-ish, 335. This might be news of a direct offering. That too, honestly. I don't know. I'm not going to check. It's not worth my time. But anytime you see this big of a pump up, just like we were saying, volume's going to die off. Usually it's not going to make a second big move up heading into the afternoon. If anything, it just breaks lower. All right, so OPTT, Sun W, PEC, all of those kind of, we'll get back to, I guess, at the end of this, meeting. There we go, Greg, typing in the chat board right now, confirming my theory. It was a direct offering. Normally off of that, you'd see the company get halted because it dropped so much. It didn't. I don't think it got halted on the way down there, Greg, but it looked like it could have been an offering. So, yeah. All right, what else do we have here, guys? SOL made a nice push early in the morning, squeaked up to make a higher high heading into the early afternoon. Not really doing it for me otherwise. Ooh, look at this. Gevo, familiar name. We traded this stock, as you could see, at least going back into mid-August. A huge gap up in pre-market, pumped up right away. Thankfully, it didn't dump off completely that afternoon, but the following morning it did. Dumped right back down towards like 130-ish, 120-ish here. Now, of course, since you could see a few plays up that we've caught it. Nice pop from last week, pushing up again here today. I feel like this stock has taken quite a dive over the years. So we'll take a quick look on the daily chart. Yeah, I'd say so. I don't know if reverse splits were factored in with this. Actually, I could tell that they are right here. This stock was not a $400 or $500 stock back in 2016. I'll tell you that much. So, yeah, heading into the afternoon, Gevo is pretty interesting. I do like this. Nice level one trade, if anything. At least for now, before it continues getting more volatile. All right, cool. So Gevo is looking pretty interesting here. Keep going down. OCUL trading about 9,300 shares per minute, which, kind of decent right now at this point in the day. No real trend though for right now. I guess you can say it's kind of near the highs, but yeah. PPSI it looks like a grinder here. It's like kind of squeezing up with higher lows, grinding up towards the high of the day here, heading into the afternoon. So it's up 25+%. Of course, this is the big move that we caught from yesterday. The stock was shortable early in the morning. So for as much of a drop as we got from the pre-market highs, it was shortable then. It popped up and made this huge, run up. We'll dump back down, and of course here today, trying to make that second little move back up here. So, maybe we'll come back to this at the very end here too. I'm not as keen though to put this on our list here to start. I feel like this could be like a false move. Ooh, look at this Gopro. About time we see like an actual worthy run on Gopro. This stock also has been a very slow mover historically over the years. Really breaking all-time lows, I think, if I'm not mistaken, going back into March. Super slow-moving stock off of news and earnings otherwise. So I don't know what's prompting this run. I don't think it was earnings-based. There was no like pre-market activity. But nice squeeze with the market and bouncing up higher right now. So yeah, GoPro, putting it on our list. Cherry says a real company. Trust me, I know it's a real company. I love, the product, but this is never really made like a real respectable day trade move for us to try and follow. At least here right now it is. So thankfully, GoPro, we're going to follow. Let's see. What else do we have here for right now, though, guys? See a bunch of crap. No real familiar names here aside from that GoPro stock. I thought I saw U1, UONE. Here's IGC, flat. There's Triple D I saw called out earlier today, DDD. Nice pop. So, volume died off here. Trying to squeak back up for right now. Trading 18 million shares already, and prior to today, it was trading like 2.9, 2.7 million shares on average. So, it's kind of near the highs right now, but I feel like it's kind of exhausted, honestly. It looks interesting, but for right now, we'll kind of pass. Definitely a good stock to keep on your side list given this pop. All right, JKS, Jinko Solar, near the highs, a little expensive, more of like a level 4 to 5 trade, I'd say. It's holding the 55 level pretty nicely. I mean, it's just easy to say that based on the chart. The high of the day, 54.97, pulling back down towards the next support level. You could see there off 54. Not really much of an order on the bid currently, but most of that started to get filled here. So we'll see if this can, kind of test around 54, continue to hold a higher low, move back up. I know Fausto is more so interested in this more on the swing trade, but for right now, I mean, just given the move, given the activity, a little pricey, a little volatile. As a new student, I would recommend rather for you to follow Gevo. I'd rather you recommend to follow GoPro over this. But hey, JKS for our more level 4 to 5 traders here. I'll put this on our list. All right, and there's U1, UONE, number 47 here. Popped up heading into the afternoon. So, dived off quite a bit. It could be the end of the run, but I like the recent activity. So UONE, it's a stock that's ran for us in the past. It's also a stock that's been a big tease for us otherwise. So, know your worth with a trade like this. We traded this going back into like, late June, early July at the time. And kind of waiting for that next big move up, right? We started to see a lot of action on this trade from last week going into the end of the week, and here once again today. So, definitely one to keep in mind. And obviously, like I said, for today, we'll put this on our list. All right, so let's see, guys. We're gonna hop over to the losers list. Let's see what else we have here for right now. Hey, let's see, a bunch of crap that's hard to borrow. Can't short those typically. Man, I'll tell you, there's really slim pickings on the losers end here, which is fine. I mean, hey, the markets are ripping up, so you're not going to find much that's down, at least down big. No real earnings to work off of. And yeah, that just about does it, guys. Honestly, it looks like a very lazy run through here, but I've been here long enough to do this. There's really not much on the loser's end at all. So if there's anything that's up, let me know. If there's anything that's maybe popping off of news coming out here right now, just type it in the chat board. All right. Don't know what's going on in the chat board here in our room. From Wayne, at least, saying PLTR way down, past or possible bounce off 10. Yeah, great setup, Wayne. Great tradable stock, PLTR. Yeah, dropping off nicely after I got out. Pretty fortunate. So I ended up jumping out on this trade a little bit earlier. I was in it right around from 10.15ish, 10.20. Not a huge profit. I got like 8 or 10 cents. Held off 10.40, big resistance here at the time, and dropping off towards it's actually $10. Not only is that like decade number, not only is that the opening bell print from this morning, in fact, it's actually the opening print from its first day. It's not like the IPO price. There's a difference, but on day one here, September 30th, Wayne, there was a 43 million share print filled at $10 at the open. So that's the opening price off day one. Great setup, obviously, with that in mind, right? I'm not as keen to put this on the main special list for right now because although I feel like it could be a great bounce over time, I don't know if it's going to make for a really big pop heading into the final hour of the day. That's the only issue. And if it ends up breaking down here and just dropping off, unless if you can get the shares to short it, I'd say otherwise pass. I love that PLTR trade, though, guys. You know that. I'll continue to like it. Plug moving towards high of the day. No surprise there, I guess, right? This thing's been unstoppable. So Plug, I should have just brought this up to begin this meeting, right? So PLUG, once again, another huge run up. I mean, in the question of when is this going to pull back, I have no idea at this point. Now, with that said, I'm not just going to throw a dart on the wall and hope it lands, right, guys? I wasn't swing trading this day over day. I was in this trade earlier this morning from 17.25, broke out nicely. We had major sell-off underneath 18. We had this big red volume spike right here. So, whether it's sell-off, shorting, or just stops getting taken out, you could see what happens afterwards. It held 18 resistance perfectly, dropped down towards 1760 support. And right now, pushing up. I'm going to put this on our list. So great call. We'll see what happens if this can make the burst over 18. If this breaks over 18, make sure that you have a tight stop set pretty quickly. But with the markets moving up, this pushing up to 18, it's a really good setup here. Very active moving stock. So yeah, I'd much rather trade this Plug over some of the others here. All right. Got a question here from YouTube from Attila. I'm going to see here from Attila. He's asking, is TradeStation's matrix, does that allow us to see share positions on all the price levels instead of number of the price levels fits? So more or less, Attila, the TradeStation matrix right here, and we explain this a lot further inside our training, inside our trading room itself otherwise, but the TradeStation matrix will show you all of the orders that are looking to be filled. So it depends on what ECNs, what data you're subscribed to. With this year, I'm subscribed to like the NASDAQ. I'm also subscribed, I think, to like the Edge X, the Direct Edge X. So I can see those ECNs. Through those ECNs, I'm able to see all of the orders, all of the buys and sells. Level 2 will kind of separate all of the different orders out for us. All right, but again, we talk more about that inside our class, inside our trading room otherwise. All right, so yeah, great call from Norman on this Plug trade. We'll see where this takes us. Otherwise, let's see. I'm going to check Benzinga Pro, guys. I don't see any other calls here. Check Benzinga Pro, see if there's any stocks breaking highs of the day right now. I'm sure there's a bunch. All right, we'll jump to a few here. I want to take a look at AMRN from earlier today. Moved up nicely, at least earlier this morning. Super flat right now. That was not a high of the day call out right there. One that I got pinged on earlier, and it's looking pretty good right now still here too. Rite Aid, RAD. So again, in terms of news, I'll copy and paste right now. I'll do a quick search. I didn't see what the news was earlier, so I'll play ignorant for the meantime, but a nice pop, nice squeeze up, still near the highs of the day. All right, so the news on Rite Aid here, at least, I'll do a quick copy and paste. Rite Aid to acquire Bartle Drugs for 95 million share transaction. I don't think Bartle Drugs is a publicly traded company, but that's the news that led to this big pop. Near the highs of the day right now, it is shortable, so it's interesting. Volume completely died off after the first big pop. More volume came in here as it started to make the squeeze up higher, but same thing, died off afterwards. So heading into the afternoon, just keep an eye out for resistance on this trade. Seems like there's some volume on the ask around 1030. We'll take a quick look here. 1027, more volume filled, it looks like, off 1027 compared to anything else. So keep a good eye on 1027, perhaps 1030 eventually, see if that pop. But yeah, Rite Aid looks like pretty strong right now heading into this point in the day. All right, so I think that just about does it from my end here, folks. I don't see anything else that's looking too interesting otherwise. So we'll take, I guess, one more final look at some side list stocks, but that'll do it. All right. So unless if the markets start tanking midway through this meeting, unless if another tweet comes out and the markets start tanking 500 points like yesterday, I think that we're in a better position heading into the close. All right. NCLH is just pretty flat. I mean, like kind of holding near the highs, holding strong, but not really doing it here for us right now. AAL just super flat. Neo doesn't really look like it has much direction. Yeah, so we got to pick and choose our battles here, guys. That's it. LI not doing a whole lot. LAC pumped and dumped from earlier. This could be a good side list stock to watch going forward, but right now, not doing it. All right, guys, I think that we have a really good list. 2, 4, 6, 7. Not big at all. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to post and tweet these out to you right now for anybody tuning in on social media. As always, make sure that you guys like, subscribe, notify if you have not done so already, and make sure that you know when we're going live, when we're not, at least. And then aside from that, feel more than free to join us heading into the trading room each and every day, each and every afternoon. All right, so I'll be posting and tweeting the picks for all of us inside the room. Give me a quick break. I've been on the mic since 8 o'clock this morning, nonstop. I haven't refilled my water bottle once. I'm going to do that right now and hop right back on the mic in about 10 or so minutes. Take care.